For second chapter, we are discussing the 13th question. Service sector in India employs two different kind of people. Who are these? So there are two types of people are working over there. First of all, in service sector, the people who are directly in the production of goods like banking, communication, transportation, and the services in which services do not directly help in the production of goods such as doctor, lawyers, teachers. They are also concerned with the tertiary sector, but they are not directly contributing for production of goods and services. Now, 14th question. Workers are exploited in the unorganized sector. Do you agree with this particular statement and give support and give reason in support of your answer? So yes, definitely workers are definitely exploited, as we have discussed in the chapter also, in the unorganized sector. And there you can give the information regarding working hours. They are they are very much long working hours. They are not getting holidays, paid holidays. They are not getting allowances, no job security. They are very low paid, and many times they are heavily in debt. Suppose they are facing any problem, any financial problem in their houses and in the family, and the help is not provided by the employer in that case. So all these you can write down for supporting this particular question. Then now, how are the activities in the economy classified on the basis of employment condition? So on the basis of employment condition, the activities in economy classified can be in the organized sector first of all, and then in the unorganized sector. So you have to explain organized and unorganized sector with the example. In this question you can explain this. Now for 16th question, compare the employment condition prevailing in the organized and unorganized sector. So you have to explain the employment condition in both organized and unorganized sector. Like in organized sector, you can write very regular monthly wages, monthly salary given in the organized sector, but in the unorganized sector, daily wage workers are there, and in addition to the organized sector, no benefits regarding tax holidays, no benefit regarding paid holidays are over there, provident fund gratuity are not there. In unorganized sector, people are not getting allowances, but in organized sector people are getting all these things. Then in organized sector, people are laborers are expected to work only a fixed number of hours, and here the number of hours is not fixed. And in organized sector, the labor is given an appointment letter stating all the terms and conditions, but in unorganized sector no formal letter is there. Anytime they can be expelled from their work. In unorganized sector, people enjoy security of employment, but there is no job security over there. There are several facilities are provided in organized sector, but in unorganized sector these facilities are not provided, not taken care of, not supervised by the government. So all these you can write in 17th question. Now 16th question. Now 17, explain the objective of implementing the NREGA 2005. So that is very that is considered as very successful scheme over there in India. So you have to write down there that is a law that implementing the right to work basically in 200 districts of India. It is called National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. You have to write down the abbreviation over there. Under the NREGA 2005, all those who are able to or in need of work have been granted 100 days of employment in a year by the government. And the main objective of the scheme is to provide employment to the people living below the poverty line basically. And under this act basically the after documentation, proper evidences, after that this service is provided to the people. So these are very important. These registered houses are provided employment card, and that is legal document. Now if this card has been allotted to the houses, then they are the person who get this card has right to get employment within 15 days. So many amendments and many changes have been made after NREGA 2005 for the proper implementation. So now in the 18th question, you will write down, using example from your area, compare and contrast that activities and functions of private and public sector. So you have to write down the examples in public and private sector. Like in public sector, you will write that it is controlled and managed by the government, and private sector it is controlled and managed by the individual groups. Public sector, the main aim is the welfare, and private sector, the main aim is the maximum profit. Public sector, the sector provides basic facilities. Basic infra facilities are provided by the public sector, and in private sector it is mainly providing the consumer goods to the people for the purpose of earning profit. Examples of public sector you can write post office, railways, BSNL, defense. All this is the public sector. And private sector includes Reliance, Tesco, and many multinational corporations named like McKinsey, Infosys, all these names can be given in private sector. Now the next question is 19th question, that is well managed organization and badly managed organization, public and private sector. Okay, so discuss and fill the following table, given one example each from your area. So from your area you can write down over there well managed and badly managed organization. Finally, this is a question you can do yourself, like any well managed organization which you find out, public and private, any department you can name over there which is not managed as per your opinion. So this type of question doesn't come in the board exam, like because everybody can write any answer over there, fine. But while writing answer in the public sector, you have to be more specific. Give an example of public sector activities and explain why the government has taken them up. So this is very a good question. That question can come up 6 marks or even. So public sector activities are very important because they are fulfilling the welfare of they are fulfilling the basic necessities of the people, and they are providing welfare activities, and which is very much necessary at cheapest rate. So why government taken up? Because if government is not taken up to provide this public sector services, then these services are not to be provided by the private sector. If provided by the private sector, then at a very high rate. So what are these services? Basically railways, you can write down railways are under this, that only the government can invest large amount of money in this project and provide a very long gestation period, and it ensure easier and cheapest availability of transportation to serve the equipment needs of strategically important sectors. So all these are very important in the terms of railways. All India Institute of Medical Science, to provide quality health services at cheap rate was the main purpose of government to take it up. Definitely AIIMS is known for the superb medical facilities, and it comes under the 3-tier system of healthcare. Now the National Thermal Power Corporation, this is the very this is known as public corporation. This is a public corporation and it's a part of public sector. Definitely public corporation is a part of public sector, fine. Public sector is basically comprised of 3 things, that is departmental undertaking, then public corporation, then government companies. So here we are talking about the public corporation, National Thermal Power Corporation. So these corporations are providing and manufacturing electricity, and it's providing electricity at very cheapest rate. Main objective of the government is this, and this is done to protect and encourage the private sector, especially small scale industries, and they are also providing the work to private sector even that support the national. Many facilities have been purchased from this private sector. So National Thermal Power Corporation Limited is doing all the infra related to electricity. So that is why these are the 3 examples you have given to support that definitely public sector activities are very much required, and these services are provided by the government to people. 21st question, explain how public sector contributes to the economic development of nation. Definitely public sector contributes to the development of nation. That question can also come, how does public sector explain how public sector contributes to the economic development of nation. Explain any 3 points of importance of public sector in our society. Like that question can come in this way also. So you have to you can make the heading from your own also, like infrastructure is provided by this particular public sector. Strong industrial base has been provided by this public sector, because road, dams, bridges, these are the basic facilities which is provided to the private sector, and after that private sector do their development activity over there. Like you can see the example of in your Haryana, like Gurgaon. That is known as now Gurugram. You can see all the facilities, all the basic facility provided by the government, and then private sector take up, like airport has been made over there. So after that development activities or other activities have been taken up by the private sector after that. Now the export promotion and import substitution, this is the main thing. Public enterprises are established to promote India's export, basically, which is very much important to earn foreign exchange. State trade corporations names are there, and minerals and metal trading corporation, any other that you can mention over there, have done and is very good job for export promotion. So that is also very important, because the private sector is not there to promote all these export, because they are not bothering about the earning of foreign exchange in India. But that is very important for the Indian economy. And balanced regional development is also important. Government used to take up the plans and implement the plan in its Niti Aayog, or earlier it was in 5-year plan, to start the industry in the remote area, in those areas which are not developed. Many factories have been opened up over there, so that the employment can be generated over there. So all these balanced regional development can be possible with the help of public sector only. So all these you can write down. When the question comes of 5 marks, then you have to write down the conclusion at the end. Only in this case you will get the marks. In conclusion, you will write that public sector is providing infra, strong industrial base, export promotion, balanced regional development, and many basic facilities have been provided by the public sector at cheapest rate. So all these you can write in the conclusion. Now for 22nd question, the workers in an unorganized sector need protection on many issue. Definitely on many issue they need the protection, like wages. They are treated as basically the bonded labor. They are not there because they are supposed to give the services for 24 hours. Like you can see, this you can also mention in the multinational corporation also. Although multinational corporation people are earning a very high salary, but even then many times they are considered as bonded because they are to give their services for 24 hours, because they said we are paying you for this much amount, so you have to give us the services for 24 hours. So anytime they are to be with the company after having many facilities provided by the companies to them, and then they are not getting any allowance, daily wages. Not in every company, but in many private sector, in many unorganized sector it is happening. There is no job security, very low paid. Definitely you have to write on the same point. And safety is regarding safety concern in many manufacturing unorganized manufacturing areas, many hazardous industries have been going on, like glass, cement and crackers industries. All these having no protection and no supervision from the government side also for this. Now health also is sufferer for in this point of view, because due to low wages they are not getting, the people are working over there and their family members are not getting the proper nutrition values over there, nutritional food, and due to their working and living condition they are generally remain unhealthy. And definitely the safety measures have not been taken, so health definitely suffer from all these employees. Now the 23rd question, a study in the Ahmedabad found that out of 15 lakh workers in the city and 11 lakh workers in unorganized sector, the total income of the city in this year 1997-1998 was rupees 60,000 million. Out of this, 32,000 million was generated in the organized sector. Present this data as a table. Why and what kind of ways should be thought of the generating more employment in the city. So you can present the data, like you can make the table. Sector are given, so chalo fine. First column is of sector, then number of workers are there, then income is there. So 3 column you can make sector, number of workers and income, and then organized and unorganized, and then total you can mention over there. Fine, and you can find out the analysis that in organized sector the number of workers is the amount which is given in the table, and then the same with the income, and then same you have to write in the unorganized sector. इसके बाद आपको मेंशन है इसमें what kind of ways should be thought for getting more employment in the city. So how the more employment can be generated in the city, in which you can write down your ways. There your opinion can be more welcome. But like education system should be made employment oriented. Like recently you can say the new education policy has been adopted to promote these changes. The government should encourage the cottage and small scale industry, agro-based industry, and now there's a one person company concept has been introduced by the government also. It should be provide the loan at cheap rate. These banks and institutions are also encouraged to provide loan at cheapest rate. Labor intensive technique should be adopted, as in India is the second populous country, so more employment opportunities can be generated in this way. Table I will send you through this after this video. I will send you through WhatsApp. You can see the table how you have to make. Now in 24th question, the following table given GDP in rupees, the primary, secondary and tertiary. These are the 2 year 2013. This is a table that has been made over there. What is there? Say calculate the share of the 3 sector in GDP for 2000 and 2013. So for 2000 and 2013 you are to add up the total GDP in 2000 from all the sector and 2013 in all the sectors. So you have to, for first question you have to add up all the sector contribution by all the sector, primary, secondary, tertiary, and for 2013 you have to add up all these. So after adding up all these you will get 57,42,500 crore you will get in 2013, and in 2000 2,34,000 crore you will get. And that has been asked in the question, calculate the share in the 3 sector in GDP for 2000 and 2013. 2000 के निकालने के लिए इन तीनों को प्लस कर दो, 2013 का निकालने के लिए इन तीनों को प्लस कर दो भाई, ठीक है. दिस इज द आंसर. शो द डेटा एज अ बार डायग्राम सिमिलर टू ग्राफ 2 इन चैप्टर. So they want you to be they want you to show the all these thing in the way of bar diagram. And for making the bar diagram, basically first you have to calculate the share of primary sector in 2000, then share of primary sector in 2013 for all these sectors. Fine. So for answering this question, that you have to calculate the share of primary sector in 2000, that is the formula is written over there, that is contribution by each sector upon total contribution by all sector into 100 for a particular year. So if you're talking about 2000, then this is the total contribution by primary, secondary and tertiary, and this is basically the share both primary sector, that is 52,000 by 2,34,000 into 100. This is the in percentage 22.22%. Now the share of primary sector in 2013, this is the contribution in 2013 for primary sector, and upon total contribution by each sector into 100, that is 13.93%. So all these are this you have to show in the bar diagram, and in the same way you have to calculate the secondary and for the tertiary sector, that you have to calculate yourself and you will show in this way.